The Unseen Scars, How Childhood Trauma Shapes a Life. Hello, everyone. Today we will discuss a very pressing topic regarding my childhood. The topic is about children seeing terrible things, or to rephrase it, the scary things I saw as a child. Why did I decide to raise this topic? Because it leaves deep and indelible marks on a person's psyche, especially during childhood. People who have experienced similar things can confirm how these memories stay with them for a lifetime. For children, these experiences are major psychological blows. They form the first blocks of fear, which can later block their ability to perceive subtle things or connect to certain aspects of life. This discussion isn't just about understanding fears or the unexplainable, it also touches on spiritual development. Even adults encounter inexplicable phenomena, shadows, mystical manifestations, and often don't know how to react, especially when these occurrences happen repeatedly. The information in this video will be useful. Whether you've experienced such things or not, knowing how to react, understanding the reasons behind such experiences, and addressing them can prevent shocks on both the emotional and spiritual planes. It's vital to understand what comes to children, where these entities or visions originate, and how they manifest. Firstly, such occurrences often come through portals. These portals can exist in the form of media, like cartoons or movies. Nowadays, many cartoons are filled with horror elements, monsters with sharp teeth and grotesque toys. These can leave negative impressions on children. Psychologists often argue that letting children interact with such things is harmless, but I disagree. These media introduce aggression and normalize negative behaviors, which can be harmful to a child's psyche. Additionally, modern entertainment often glorifies negative characters, like the Joker or Harley Quinn, presenting them as cool and desirable. Children begin to emulate these figures, leading to nightmares and fears. This happens because demons or negative entities use media as a way to enter our lives, seeking invitations through fascination and admiration. Another common source of these manifestations is objects in the home. Figurines, esoteric symbols, or items with occult significance can create energy funnels or portals that allow negative entities to enter. Keeping a clean and neutral space free from such objects is essential for maintaining a safe environment. Rituals or occult practices performed at home can also open portals, allowing entities to enter. Children, with their naturally open sensitivity to subtle energies, are often the first to notice these presences. There was a case where a child refused to stay in a room after a ritual was performed there, claiming it felt scary and unsafe. Adults might not see anything, but children perceive these energies vividly. Children have an innate ability to see beyond the physical plane, a connection that diminishes as they grow older due to societal conditioning. Adults also often dismiss children's experiences, telling them it's just their imagination. This invalidation causes children to suppress their perceptions, which can lead to a psychological dissonance. It's important to listen to children, understand their fears, and help them set personal boundaries. Teaching children that they have the power to protect themselves, visualizing a safe space, and addressing the sources of their fears are crucial steps in managing these experiences. Not all entities children perceive are negative. They might also encounter guardian angels or spirits of nature. Positive energies feel different. They provide comfort and reassurance, unlike the fear and discomfort caused by negative entities. Teaching children to recognize these differences helps them navigate their experiences. Finally, for adults revisiting these topics, it's never too late to learn how to manage such experiences. Setting clear boundaries, asserting personal strength, and addressing fears can help resolve lingering issues from childhood. It's about reclaiming control and protecting oneself from negative influences. What we have heard so far is childhood is often painted as a time of innocence, joy, and wonder, but for some the reality is much darker. What happens when a child is confronted with terrible things, things they can barely comprehend? How do these experiences leave their mark, haunting the individual for years, perhaps even a lifetime? in this reflection. I'll explore these questions by delving into my own personal experiences and the deep psychological scars left by the disturbing things I witnessed in my formative years. The weight of what we see as children. There are moments in life that change us forever, and for children, the weight of such moments can be especially heavy. Children are vulnerable, their minds still forming a sense of self-morality and the world around them. When they encounter terrifying or traumatic events, their developing psyche can be overwhelmed, unable to properly process or cope with what they've seen. In my own childhood, I witnessed things that no child should ever have to see. These experiences weren't fleeting, they were seared into my memory, leaving wounds that I would carry well into adulthood. Looking back, I now realize how deeply those moments affected me, how they altered my perception of the world, of safety, and of trust. The lasting impact. Many people who have experienced similar traumas in their childhood can attest to the lasting effects. These experiences are not easily shaken off or forgotten. They become part of who we are. The memories linger, often surfacing at unexpected times, like ghosts from the past. They shape our behaviors, our fears, our relationships, and even our identity. For me, the impact was profound. Growing up with these memories wasn't just about living with fear or anxiety. It was about constantly grappling with a sense of isolation. I felt like I was different from other children, burdened by something they couldn't understand. I was often withdrawn, my thoughts consumed by the images and feelings that refused to fade. Why speak about it now? The reason I've chosen to speak about these experiences now is because I believe it's important to break the silence around childhood trauma. Too many people go through life without ever addressing the pain they carry from their early years. They may feel ashamed, afraid, or simply unable to put their feelings into words. But by sharing my story, I hope to encourage others to acknowledge their own pain and begin the journey of healing. It's not easy to talk about these things. Even now, as I recount these memories, I feel a mix of emotions, fear, sadness, and vulnerability. But I also feel a sense of strength in confronting them head on, in refusing to let the shadows of the past dictate my future. The road to healing. Healing from childhood trauma is a complex and ongoing process. It requires patience, understanding, and often the help of others. For many, therapy is a crucial step, providing a safe space to unpack the emotions that have been buried for so long. In my case, it took years before I was even able to acknowledge the full extent of the damage those early experiences had caused. But healing is possible. It's not about erasing the past or pretending the trauma never happened. It's about learning to live with it, to integrate it into your life in a way that no longer controls you. It's about reclaiming your sense of self and finding a way to move forward with resilience and hope. In conclusion, childhood trauma is often invisible, but its effects are far-reaching. The things we see and experience as children can shape us in ways we don't fully understand until much later in life. But by talking about these experiences, by bringing them into the light, we can begin to heal not just as individuals, but as a society. For those who have witnessed terrible things in their childhood, know that you are not alone. Your pain is valid and your story matters. There is hope in healing and there is strength in acknowledging the scars that remain. That's all for today. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, and share my channel. Become a member of my Telegram channel and discuss with like-minded people as a club member.